Okay, Latin 3, now that you're all done with AP testing, we are going to resume our study of Caesar where we left off. Here was the last sentence we did. Now, I have supplied to you this week a PDF that just has the two sentences from the second half of the last PDF, but for your ease and convenience, if you want to just print off this to focus on these two sentences, you can. The first of our new sentences is right here. Hi omnes lingua institutis legibus inter se differunt. Let's have a little fun with this, shall we? Let's play a round of what does it look like? He. What does it look like? That's right. It looks just like the English hi. It's not, though. Instead, it's a form of hic, which means this. It's the plural. The plural of this is these. He means these. Let's continue to play another round of what does it look like? Omnes. What does omnes look like? Well, it's a form of omnis, all. And the plural of all is alls. No, it's not. Just kidding. The plural of all is all. Folks, we got to have some fun during quarantine. Lingua. What does it look like? Well, it looks like the English word linguistics, which reminds you of things like language and tongue. It's an ablative hanging out on its own, and it will usually mean something like in, with, or by. Now, we're about to do this over and over again. So when I tell you that there's an ablative hanging all on its own, you're going to supply in, with, or by to make the best sense. So the word lingua, if there were long marks, there would be one right here. Lingua means in language. Institutis. What does it look like? Well, it looks like the English word institute or institutions, that is to say, custom. It's an ablative hanging out on its own. What do you do to it? You supply in, with, or by. In customs. Legibus. What does it look like? Well, hopefully you're thinking about the word like legal, which reminds you that it means something to do with law. It's an ablative plural hanging out on its own. So, pluralize law and add some type of a preposition, such as, well, you know by now, in, with, or by. In laws. Inter se. Inter means among or between. Se means himself, herself, themselves. Put it all together. Inter se means here, among themselves. Differunt. What does it look like? Do you know what it looks like? It looks like the English word differ with unt on the end of it. Let's throw away that unt and let's imagine that differunt just means to differ. And if you're not aware of what that verb means, it just means to be different. So, ignore the ending, and you frequently do see an English word. Differ. And so, put it all together. Hi omnes, lingua, institutis, legibus, inter se differunt. All these, and meaning, by the way, this is all the different Celtic tribes. I know it's been weeks since we talked about this, so let me remind you. We're talking about the Celts and the Aquitani and the Belgae. All these in language, customs, and laws differ among themselves. Okay, here's the second and last sentence that we are going to do in its entirety this week. And I'm going to show you in a moment why we're going to just do these two sentences, and then we're going to also have you study the issue of clauses a little bit. Anyway, Gallos, ab Aquitanis, garumna flumen, a Belgis, matrona et sequana dividit. This is going to be Again, a rather extreme example of the sentence structure that you first encountered with Britanni cibum laudabant, Romani vinum. And you have to resupply laudabant. Here, just to give you an idea of what's going to happen, Garumna is the name of a flumen, that is a river. And this river is going to divide. What it's going to divide, it's going to divide these guys from these guys. But then, rather than say all this stuff over again, Caesar's going to throw in the fact that this river and this river divide, understood again, them from them. Can you believe Caesar's going to do this? Let's take a look at how it works out. Dividit, divides. What does it divide? It divides the Gallos ab Aquitanis, from the Aquitani. The Garumna River is what divides them. Now, what else does rivers divide? The Matrona and the Sequana rivers divide the Gauls from the Belgae. So now, I'm going to put it all in English here. This is a good English translation, okay? And then I'm re-dividing up the Latin to show you how this works. The Garumna River, Garumna flumen, it is the subject of the verb dividit, which was actually the last word of the sentence. So the Garumna River divides. What does it divide? Gallos. Who does it divide the Gallos from? From the Aquitani. And then we're going to reassume the word flumen to here, because these are the names of rivers. And by the way, the Seine, which goes through Paris, this is actually the Sequana. So it's, even though the qua is gone, a lot of the rest of that sound is still there. The rivers Matrona and Sequana, we're going to reassume again, dividit. They divide. Who do they divide? Well, they divide the Gauls from the Belgae. Wow, that is Caesar at his best, people. The sentence is not actually that grammatically complicated, apart from the fact that he assumes things over and over again. Here's the next sentence. Oh God, we're not doing it today because look at it. It's horrible. This is the reason that I want you to study clauses a little bit. The sentence is not nearly as bad as it looks once we understand that Caesar basically, he can get really wordy. He can throw in a bunch of clauses. So again, the two sentences we have just gone through, those are the only two sentences for you to study this week. Study also the video on clauses. There is a lengthy sentence at the end of that video that I do want you to study intensely. The questions for your Socrative on Thursday are going to be drawn from just the two sentences we have studied here and also the very complicated sentence at the end of the clauses video. Be well.